Let's solve the following applied problem. Ramona has a checkbook balance of $633.64. She deposits $321.38 and then writes checks for $121.81, $178.57, and $83.27. What is her checkbook balance? To solve this problem, we realize that we begin with her original balance of $633.64. To this, she deposits or adds to this balance of $321.38. So, we would want to add these numbers together. Adding our decimals, 4 plus 8 would be 12, carry the 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 3 would be 10. Carry the 1 and bring down our decimal point. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 3 plus 2 is 5, and 6 plus 3 is 9. So after her deposit, she now has $955.02. From this now, she writes checks in the amounts of $121.81, $178.57, and $83.27. So from this balance, let's now subtract each one of these checks. So we'll now take $121.81 and subtract that from our balance. 2 minus 1 is 1. We can't subtract 8 from 0, so we'll need to borrow a whole unit to make that into 10 dimes, to make this 4 units and make this a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. We'll bring down our decimal point. 4 minus 1 is 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. And 9 minus 1 is 8. So after her first check, she now has $833.21. She then writes her next check in the amount of $178.57. So again, we'll subtract. We can't subtract 7 from 1, nor can we subtract 5 from 2, nor can we subtract 8 from 3, nor can we subtract 7 from 3. So we'll borrow a single 100, making this 700, and 100 is the same as 10 tens. From this, we'll now have 13, but we'll borrow from this to make this 12, and borrow 1 10 to make this into 10 units, making this 13 here. But we need to borrow from this, so this will become 12, and $1 would be the same as 10 dimes. So this will become 12 dimes, but from this we'll need to borrow again to make this into 1 dime is 10 pennies. So we now can subtract 11 minus 7, which is 4. 11 minus 5 is 6. We'll bring down our decimal point. 12 minus 8 is 4. 12 minus 7 is 5. And 7 minus 1 is 6. So after her second check, she now has $654.64 in the bank. From this, she writes one last check in the amount of $83.27. So again, we'll line up our numbers and subtract $83.27 from her balance of $654.64. Again, we cannot subtract from 7 from 4, so we'll borrow 1 dime, making this 5 dimes, and 1 dime would be the same as 10 pennies. So this will become 14 pennies minus 7 will be 7. 5 minus 2 is 3, period. 4 minus 3 is 1. Cannot subtract 8 from 5, so we'll borrow from the hundreds column, making this 5, and carrying this to the tens column will make this 15 tens. 15 minus 8 is 7, and we'll bring down our 5. So after she makes her deposits and after she writes her checks, she has a balance now of $571.37. That's our final answer.